What if this next season is about taking your power back from everything that drained you, distracted you, or made you doubt who you are? Mars enters Scorpio on September 22nd, 2025, and stays until November 3rd. And this is no ordinary transit. This is soul surgery. Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, which means it's strong here. It's focused, it's precise, and it's not afraid to go into the shadows to get what it wants. During this transit, you'll be asked to reclaim the power you gave away in relationships, in fear, in silence, or in survival mode. But this is not a time to act recklessly. This is a time to move with strategy, depth, and emotional truth. In this video, I'll break down what Mars in Scorpio is activating for you by your rising sign, where the transformation is taking place, the themes that may rise to the surface, and how to work with this powerful energy for your highest elevation. So grab your birth chart and let's get into it.
Aries rising. So Mars, your chart ruler, dives into Scorpio, activating your 8th house of transformation, shared resources, intimacy, and deep psychological healing. This transit is intense, magnetic, and not for the faint of heart. It marks a turning point in your personal evolution where you're asked to walk through the fire of your own shadow work so you can rise fully empowered on the other side. You may feel more emotionally raw, driven by subconscious urges, or suddenly aware of energetic ties that have been draining your power. Themes around sexual energy, trust, betrayal, jealousy, debt, loss, or energetic exchange are likely to rise. But Mars is not here to wound. It's here to help you reclaim. You're being asked to become radically honest about where your life force is leaking, where fear has blocked intimacy, and where the past is still making decisions for you. This is warrior energy, but it's happening behind the scenes. So think emotional purging, spiritual warfare, cutting karmic cords, and rising from the ashes with renewed strength. If you've been people-pleasing, overgiving, or staying small to stay safe, this transit will expose that. And then it will burn it to the ground so you can rebuild something more authentic. Now, of course, Mars and Scorpio will be making several aspects, one of them being a square to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 11th house. This tension between your personal transformation and your social circles or long-term goals may create friction. So you might find yourself pulling away from groups or friendships that unconsciously reinforce your wounds. It's time to question whether your current vision is rooted in authenticity or old trauma. Next is a sextile to Venus in Virgo, which is your 6th house. This supportive aspect brings healing into your daily routines, health, and service. So you may feel a pull to transmute your emotional pain into purposeful work. There's a chance to bring structure and grace to your self-healing rituals, especially around your body, boundaries, and burnout recovery. Now, midway through Mars's transit, it will make a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, which is your 4th house. So, this is a powerful opportunity to feel emotionally safe in your transformation. This aspect is a gift, offering growth, abundance, or even forgiveness in your home life or family dynamics. A new chapter may begin with roots that actually nourish your soul. Now, towards the end of Mars's transit, it will make trines to the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune, all in Pisces, which is your 12th house. Now, as Mars closes this transit, you are given a rare chance to spiritually cleanse lifetimes of energetic baggage. This is karmic closure. Through dreams, solitude, or creative surrender, you'll release what's no longer meant to travel with you. Deep subconscious healing is at your fingertips. Now, the final aspect will be in opposition to Uranus in Gemini, which is your 3rd house. So, a sudden insight, conversation, or truth may disrupt your inner world, but it's here to liberate you. Uranus is shaking up how you communicate, learn, or speak your truth. So, you might feel more outspoken, curious, or rebellious about ideas that once kept you silent. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Mars and Scorpio energy is first, to do shadow work. Journaling, therapy, breath work, or rituals around releasing emotional or financial codependency will be especially potent. Next is to focus on energy hygiene. Cleanse your field from cords or psychic entanglements. This is your call to protect your peace. And finally, create from pain. Channel your intensity into your passions, art, business, or advocacy. Mars in Scorpio thrives when it's turned toward purpose. A great affirmation for you for this Mars and Scorpio energy is, I rise from the fire of my own healing. My power is mine to keep, protect, and use with purpose. Be sure to let me know how this Mars and Scorpio energy is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, tap that like button, share the vibes, and subscribe so the stars always find you. And if you're ready to stop outsourcing your worth and finally come home to yourself, my Venus Activation Journal guides you through your Venus sign and house so you can rewire how you see and love yourself. So be sure to check it out. The links are in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for listening. Taurus rising. So Mars enters your opposite sign of Scorpio, lighting up your 7th house of relationships, contracts, and sacred mirrors. This is not a lighthearted Mars transit. It's a deeply emotional, soul-refining journey through how you show up in partnership, how you assert your needs, and how you share power with others. Expect heat and possibly confrontation in your closest bonds. Now, this doesn't mean chaos. It means clarity. Mars is pushing you to get real about what's no longer balanced, fair, or aligned. So whether it's a romantic relationship, business contract, client agreement, or family dynamic, anything based in energetic debt, codependency, or avoidance may be brought to the surface for transformation. And because Mars is opposing your rising sign, the call for action is personal. You may feel like people are triggering you left and right, but every trigger is a teacher. This transit will show you how to stop reacting from a wounded place and instead start responding from your healed self. This is about embodying relational maturity, choosing clarity over chaos, integrity over people-pleasing, and walking away from anything that keeps you from your inner peace. Now, during this transit, Mars and Scorpio will make a few aspects. Now, of course, one of them being its opposition to your Taurus rising energy in your first house. So you may feel pushed or provoked by others, but this is a powerful opportunity to reclaim your personal boundaries. And ask yourself, where have you abandoned yourself in the name of keeping the peace? Now, the next aspect is going to be a square to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 10th house. So there may be intense pressure or power struggles related to your career, public image, or authority figures. So it's time to rewire the relationship between your professional identity and your private partnerships. Don't let ambition override your emotional truth. Next is going to be a sextile to Venus in Virgo, which is currently your 5th house. Now, this brings sweetness and support from creative expression, romance, or inner child healing. So you may be guided to release relationship dynamics that dim your joy and reconnect with what makes you feel alive, playful, and loved. Now, midway through this transit, Mars will make a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, which is your 3rd house. So this is a beautiful window of emotional clarity through heartfelt conversations. So siblings, friends, or written words may help you express what's been buried. Your voice is a tool for healing. Use it. Now, Mars and Scorpio will also be making trines to the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune, all in Pisces, in your 11th house. So a powerful realignment with your soul tribe and long-term vision comes with this energy. So this is a chance to let go of past relational karma and open to higher level, spiritually aligned partnerships and collaborations. Now, the final aspect is going to be in opposition to Uranus in Gemini, which is your 2nd house. So a final moment of disruption around your self-worth or finances may come through a relationship. So if someone's presence is costing you your peace, values, or money, it's time to reevaluate. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Mars and Scorpio energy is first to reclaim your power in relationships. This is a powerful moment to stop compromising your truth for the sake of peace. You've been learning that love doesn't mean self-abandonment. Whether in romantic or business partnerships, this energy is asking you to show up more honestly, more fully, and more unapologetically. Power struggles might flare, but they're meant to show you where you've been dimming your light or overgiving. Next is to revisit contracts or commitments. This could be literal business contracts, shared finances, or legal agreements, or even energetic such as unspoken obligations or emotional enmeshment. Ask yourself, does this still serve who I am becoming? This is a window to renegotiate the terms of your relationships, collaborations, or community involvement, especially if you've been giving more than you've received. And finally, take aligned action, even if it feels edgy. Mars wants you to do something about the truth you now see. Initiate the conversation, set the boundary, close the door, or take the leap to collaborate with someone who matches your vision. Use this fire to choose growth over safety. A great affirmation for you for this Mars and Scorpio transit is, I choose relationships that honor my truth, match my growth, and reflect my self-worth. Be sure to let me know how this Mars and Scorpio energy is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, be sure to hit like, send this to your besties, and subscribe so you never miss your cosmic upgrade. And you don't have to keep guessing who you are. My As Above, So Within guided journal helps you get real about what you want and what you're here for. So be sure to grab it below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for listening. Gemini rising. So this transit strikes at the very core of your daily life. Mars is igniting your 6th house of work, wellness, and energy management, and it's demanding a complete systems audit. What's draining you? What's worth your time and vitality? This isn't about hustle, it's about precision. You're being invited to take ruthless inventory of what's been keeping you out of alignment and to approach your daily life like a sacred ritual of self-respect. There is a sharp awareness rising around burnout, people-pleasing, and the ways that your nervous system has adapted to chaos. Mars in Scorpio pulls you into the undercurrent of your health, energy, and service work. But instead of patching symptoms, it's pushing you to expose the root cause. Now, Mars in Scorpio will make several aspects. The first being a square to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 9th house. So this opening square is forcing you to confront deep-seated beliefs about work, success, or purpose that may no longer serve you. You're clashing with internalized systems, religious programming, ancestral pressure, or perfectionism masquerading as spirituality. This may show up through health flare-ups, work burnout, or intellectual frustration. But the root is existential. What are you working toward? And who taught you that you had to suffer for it? Next, Mars will make a sextile to Venus in Virgo, which is your 4th house. So this sweet sextile invites emotional nourishment as medicine. Your nervous system doesn't just need discipline. It needs softness, safety, and familiarity. This may come through reconnection with home, family, food, or grounding rituals. Let love into your daily life through touch, stillness, and emotional regulation. Your body will thank you. Next, Mars will make a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, currently in your 2nd house. Now, The midpoint of this transit is offering a breakthrough. By refining your systems and detoxing from self-neglect, you create massive potential for financial growth and self-worth healing. Jupiter expands whatever you commit to, especially if it's rooted in consistency, not chaos. So think aligned productivity, stable routines, and healing your money story through your body. Next, Mars will make a trine to Saturn, Neptune, and the North Node, all in Pisces, which is your 10th house. So by the end of this transit, you're being spiritually recalibrated for your true purpose. The trine to your 10th house Pisces planets reminds you that your soul work doesn't thrive in burnout. Your divine calling requires energetic boundaries, healthy systems, and consistent nourishment. Discipline is your portal to divine flow. The universe wants your work to be sustainable and sacred. Now, the final aspect is going to be Mars making an opposition to Uranus in Gemini, which is, of course, your first house. Your nervous system might rebel here. As you commit to structure and recalibration, the temptation to self-sabotage, ghost, or abandon your healing path may rise. You might feel the urge to break free before the breakthrough. Stay rooted. Your body is changing so that your identity can expand. Now, the best ways for you to work with this energy is first to audit your daily habits. What no longer supports your vitality, focus, or peace? It's time to clear it. Next is to create systems that serve your purpose. Ritualize your workflow. Organize your time with intention. Let clarity reduce overwhelm. Next is to let your body lead your healing. So, health upgrades, somatic therapies, nervous system resets, all have divine timing during this transit. Next is to avoid perfectionism disguised as productivity. Sustainable growth is more powerful than aesthetic success. And finally, ground your rebellion in clarity, not chaos. When your old identity fights back, breathe. You're not who you used to be, and that's the point. A great affirmation for you for this Mars and Scorpio transit is, I honor my body as the foundation of my purpose. I release the chaos and rise through sacred structure. Be sure to let me know how this Mars and Scorpio energy is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, give this video a thumbs up, pass it to your astrology besties, and subscribe for more cosmic truths. And if you're ready to stop outsourcing your worth and finally come home to yourself, my Venus Activation Journal guides you through your Venus sign and house so you can rewire how you see and love yourself. So be sure to check it out. The links are in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for listening. Cancer rising. So Mars in Scorpio is activating your 5th house of creativity, romance, confidence, and happiness, but not in a gentle way. It wants to pull your passion from the depths, not the surface. This is not about performative joy or curated aesthetics. It's about real, raw, soul-birthed expression. What have you been too afraid to say, sing, write, love, or risk? This is your season to remember who you are and to let it show. Expect intensity in romantic dynamics, creative blocks breaking open, or emotional waves tied to self-worth. Mars is saying, you're not meant to shrink or apologize for your essence anymore. Your inner child and higher self are both ready to co-create, and Mars is the cosmic midwife demanding you stop holding back. Mars in Scorpio is going to make several aspects during this transit, one of them being a square to Pluto in Aquarius. This opening square may trigger deep emotional fears, especially around intimacy, vulnerability, and abandonment. If you've used creativity or romance to distract from deeper healing, this will surface. Your patterns around control, fear of loss, and emotional withdrawal in love or art will be exposed. But this isn't to punish you. It's to free you. You can only create your most magnetic life if you let go of what's emotionally possessed you. Next, Mars will make a sextile to Venus in Virgo, which is your third house. So this aspect brings sweetness after the storm. So you may find clarity through writing, conversations, or local connections that help you rewire how you speak about love, self-worth, and creativity. Express what's on your heart. Say what you want. Let language be a love spell. When you name what you desire, it has room to grow. Next, Mars will make a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, which is, of course, your first house. So you are the gift with this aspect. Jupiter in your sign says you are the opportunity. So this trine supercharges your magnetism, especially when you allow your authentic joy, talent, and self-expression to shine unapologetically. Romance, recognition, or creative breakthroughs could flow if you're brave enough to be seen. So think expansion through expression. Next, Mars will trine the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune all in Pisces, which is your ninth house. So by the end of this transit, you'll see the connection between your personal happiness and your soul's greater mission. Mars is helping you to birth your divine gifts into form, especially if they involve spiritual teaching, writing, mentorship, or travel. This is the timeline shift where play becomes purpose. Your wildest dreams might be assignments in disguise. Now, the final aspect that Mars will make is going to be in opposition to Uranus in Gemini, which is your 12th house. So this opposition may stir emotional chaos, intuitive overload, or even creative rebellion. So you may want to disappear from the world, but try not to ghost your own evolution. The key is grounding the downloads, not escaping them. Keep a journal, take a breath, and let the inspiration move through you, not flood you. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this energy is first to heal your relationship with visibility. You're being invited to shine, but only if it's real. No more playing small or performing. Next is to create like your soul depends on it. So whether it's writing, dancing, designing, your body wants to express, not suppress. Next is to rewrite your romantic story. This is a chance to break free from seductive but self-abandoning dynamics. Passion without self-respect isn't worth it. Next is to follow the spark. That crazy idea, that random desire, it might be your divine assignment knocking. And finally, let pleasure be your guide. Not escapism, but embodied joy. Pleasure is a spiritual teacher now. A great affirmation for you for this Mars and Scorpio energy is, my joy is sacred. I honor my soul by creating, expressing, and loving with power and presence. Be sure to let me know how this Mars and Scorpio energy is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, your 3-second ritual, like, share, and subscribe to keep this energy coming your way. And if you're tired of repeating old patterns, my Venus Activation Journal walks you through reconnecting with your self-worth and rewriting your love story from the inside out. So be sure to grab it below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for listening. Leo rising. So Mars in Scorpio is coming for your roots in your 4th house of emotional foundations, family, home, and inner security. Not in a destructive way, but in a surgical, soul-liberating way. Now, Mars in Scorpio is bringing heat to your most vulnerable spaces, your emotional past, your family dynamics, and your sense of safety. This isn't just about your physical home, it's about the energetic home inside you, the one that still carries your childhood fears, your ancestral expectations, and your buried grief. This is the kind of transit that can burn down what you thought made you safe in order to help you actually feel safe. Let it happen. Your true power as a Leo rising doesn't come from shining 24/7. It comes from knowing where your light returns to recharge. This transit is here to redefine that. Now, Mars in Scorpio is going to make several aspects during this transit, one of them being a square to Pluto in Aquarius, which is in your 7th house. Old power dynamics in your relationships may surface, especially ones that are rooted in your family story. If you grew up watching love feel like control, silence, or survival, Mars is cracking the illusion. Someone may project onto you, or you may suddenly realize where you have overpowered, avoided, or shut down. Let this square initiate an emotional purge. You're not responsible for other people's expectations. anymore. Next, Mars will make a sextile to Venus in Virgo, which is your second house. So, this is an invitation to rewire your nervous system around self-worth. So, you may feel called to beautify your space, reconnect with a trusted family member, or simply sit in stillness and remind yourself, I belong here. I am enough. Stability is something you're allowed to create, not chase. Next, Mars will make a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, which is your 12th house. So your healing is blessed. Jupiter in your 12th house is whispering that behind the scenes, miracles are moving. This trine is about divine restoration. It's the kind of transit that supports forgiveness rituals, ancestral healing, spiritual cleansing, and deep emotional breakthroughs. You don't need to fight so hard anymore. Just trust what's leaving is clearing space for your true foundation. Next, Mars will make a trine to the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune, all in Pisces, in your 8th house. This is the soul contract piece. This trine wants to close emotional karma. If you've been entangled in generational pain or carrying trauma that isn't yours, this is your moment to release it. Spiritual maturity is calling. Let go of the need to rescue, fix, or control others emotionally. What if the most radical thing you could do for your lineage is to feel whole in your own skin? The final aspect Mars and Scorpio will make is an opposition to Uranus in Gemini, which is currently in your 11th house. So unexpected shifts in your friendships, communities, or future plans could rattle your emotional grounding. So maybe a support system you counted on suddenly feels unstable, or a long-term vision no longer resonates. This isn't here to destroy your dreams. It's here to upgrade them. Mars is asking, have you been building your emotional life around belonging or around truth? Let the instability show you where your soul no longer fits. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Mars and Scorpio energy is first to nurture your inner child, especially when you feel reactive. Ask yourself, what does my inner child need in this moment? Next is to redefine emotional safety. You don't have to build your life on shaky foundations anymore. Build where you feel loved, not just where you look successful. Next is to declutter ancestral patterns. Let go of outdated obligations and subconscious programming that keep you looping in survival mode. Next is to anchor yourself before acting. Emotional clarity must come before bold moves. Mars gives you power, but Scorpio insists that it comes from depth, not impulse. And finally, come home to yourself, whether it's creating a spiritual altar, journaling in the morning, or finally confronting buried grief. This is about coming home to you. A great affirmation for you for this Mars and Scorpio transit is, I am safe to feel, to rest, and to rise from the truth of who I am. I build my life on love, not fear. Be sure to let me know how this Mars and Scorpio energy is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, if this lit you up, be sure to hit like, share it with your soul squad, and subscribe so you never miss the next download. And if you're craving an energetic reset, my Higher Self Activation audio and workbook helps you release fear and anchor into the version of you who knows exactly who they are. Be sure to find the link in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for listening. Virgo rising. So this is a transit of razor sharp mental clarity. Mars is heating up your third house of communication, mindset, and your immediate environment, bringing intensity to your thoughts, words, and daily interactions. You're being asked to speak up, but from a place of truth, not reaction. You may feel more mentally driven, quick to cut through fluff, and less tolerant of surface level conversations or miscommunications. If you've been staying silent about something important, this transit will urge you to voice your truth. Just be sure to watch the sting, because Mars in Scorpio doesn't whisper, it pierces. Now, during this transit, Mars will be making several aspects, one of them being a square to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 6th house. So this square activates a mental, emotional power struggle around work, health, and your daily structure. So you might feel frustrated by routines that feel restrictive or mentally draining. There may be tension with coworkers or a buildup of internalized pressure to do it all perfectly. Now, Pluto in the 6th is teaching you that control doesn't equal peace. If your mind is spiraling around productivity or burnout, this transit reveals what systems need to be restructured to support your mental health, not sabotage it. Next, Mars will make a sextile to Venus in Virgo, which of course is your 1st house. So this is a beautiful moment of self-honoring clarity. As you stand up for yourself, Venus in your 1st house softens your delivery and keeps you rooted in self-love. You are refining your voice, not weaponizing it. Let this sextile help you choose your words with precision and grace. Your presence is powerful when you speak from aligned embodiment, not ego. Next, Mars will make a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, which is your 11th house. So sudden clarity around your long-term goals, friendships, or community role may arrive mid-transit. So something clicks. How your voice, message, or mindset fits into the bigger picture. So you could feel a renewed drive to share your thoughts with your network or support system, or finally make progress on a project that aligns with your social impact. This is a cosmic yes to bold, vulnerable, and visionary communication. Next, Mars will make a trine to the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune, all in Pisces, in your 7th house. So conversations in close relationships get soul deep. This part of the transit dissolves shallow connections and karmic scripts that once kept you over-explaining or people-pleasing. Mars is helping you express your needs without guilt. So you might renegotiate a relationship dynamic, express an unspoken truth, or get radically clear about what you need in order to feel seen. A soulmate level mirror may be reflecting you back to yourself. Don't ignore what it's showing you. Now, the final aspect is going to be an opposition to Uranus in Gemini in your 10th house. So, sudden career shifts or public pressure may throw your daily rhythm into chaos. Maybe your voice goes viral. Maybe your job demands more than you can mentally handle. Either way, Uranus here wants to free your mind from the performance trap. If it feels like the world wants a version of you that no longer exists, good. Say goodbye to that mask. This is a wake-up call to stop sacrificing your mental peace for outer success. Real power is in your message, not your perfection. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Mars and Scorpio energy is first to use your voice wisely. Say what needs to be said, but pause to ensure it's not coming from reactivity or resentment. Next is to redefine your relationship to productivity. You don't need to be on all the time to be valuable. Choose systems that serve you. Next is to be open to divine timing in relationships. Clarity, soul connections, and karmic healing are all on the table. Just don't force it. And finally, let instability show you what's unsustainable, especially in career or mental workload. If it's chaotic, it's trying to be rebuilt. A great affirmation for you for this Mars and Scorpio transit is, I speak my truth with clarity and courage. My mind is sacred. My voice is powerful, and my peace is not up for negotiation. Be sure to let me know how this Mars and Scorpio energy is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, love on this video with a like, spread the magic, and subscribe so the universe keeps sending you these vibes. And your chart already holds the answers. My As Above, So Within guided journal helps you pull them out and put them on paper so you can finally see who you're becoming. So be sure to check it out. The links are below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for listening. Libra rising. So this transit pulls your focus toward money, self-worth, and energetic boundaries. Mars is activating your second house, challenging you to reclaim the resources, emotional, physical, and financial, that you've given away too easily. This isn't just about cash. It's about where you've been undercharging, overgiving, or undervaluing yourself. You may feel a fire ignite to get your finances in order, set new boundaries, or assert your value in a space where you've previously been passive. If it's not aligned with your worth, it's war. Now, during this transit, Mars will make several aspects. one of them being a square to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your fifth house. This square unearths deep insecurities around your creative expression, romantic worth, or inner child healing. Something may trigger old patterns, feeling like love has to be earned, or that your happiness must be sacrificed for control or survival. You may feel pulled into power plays, especially around money, visibility, or being chosen. But Pluto's job is to expose what's no longer empowering you. If you've been selling yourself short to be loved, this is the burn that sets you free. Next, Mars will make a sextile to Venus in Virgo, which is in your 12th house. So there's a quiet strength available here. You're being spiritually supported as you take bolder action to honor your worth. This aspect brings healing through solitude, ritual, and reconnection with the divine parts of you that don't need to perform to be valuable. Let this be a reminder. Your value doesn't depend on being seen. It comes from being whole. Next, Mars will make a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, which is your 10th house. This is public success powered by private confidence. When you fully own your worth, your career or reputation expands accordingly. Someone may finally see your value in a way that opens doors. A job opportunity, recognition, or promotion could arrive, and it's rooted in what you believed you deserved. If you've been waiting for a sign that you're worthy of more, this is it. Next, Mars will make a trine to the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune, all in Pisces, in your 6th house. This is deep recalibration of how you invest your energy daily. You're learning how to bring more sacred discipline to your routines, healing habits, and service to others. This isn't about proving your worth through productivity. It's about structuring your life to reflect what you truly value. Old energetic leaks, like doing too much for too little, will start to dissolve. You're rewriting the energetic exchange in your work and healing practices, and your body is listening. Now, the final aspect Mars and Scorpio will make will be in opposition to Uranus in Gemini in your 9th house. So sudden shifts in belief, travel, education, or worldview may challenge how you've attached value to certainty. So maybe your finances get rocked by a new truth, or your spiritual path demands a leap of faith that feels unstable. This aspect can feel like crisis meets clarity. If a paradigm breaks down, let it. You're being freed from outdated philosophies about your worth, especially if they're built on scarcity, sacrifice, or shame. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Mars and Scorpio energy is first to reclaim what's yours. So whether it's money, time, energy, or self-respect, this is a chapter of energetic payback. Next is for you to know that value isn't negotiable. So if someone or something keeps making you prove your worth, it's not aligned. Period. Next is to heal your work patterns. Shift from hustle to sacred output. Let your routine reflect your values. And finally, let your worth disrupt your worldview. Sometimes being worthy means unlearning what kept you small. A great affirmation for you for this Mars in Scorpio transit is, my worth is not up for debate. I invest in myself fully and release anything that underpays or undervalues my spirit. Be sure to let me know how this Mars and Scorpio energy is showing up for you in the comments below. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe so the universe keeps us synced. And if you're ready to stop outsourcing your worth and finally come home to yourself, my Venus Activation Journal guides you through your Venus sign and house so you can rewire how you see and love yourself. So be sure to check it out. The links are below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for listening. Scorpio rising. So Mars, your chart ruler, returns to your sign and lights up your identity, willpower, and presence. This is a magnetic return to your raw power, but it may not feel gentle. This energy is sharp, surgical, and sovereign. It demands truth, transformation, and full embodiment. You're not here to be palatable. You're here to remember that power isn't something you chase. It's something you own. And if you've been dimming, hiding, or shrinking, this transit will feel like a sacred confrontation with your own reflection. Now, during this transit, Mars will make several aspects, one of them being a square to Pluto in Aquarius in your 4th house. This square digs up the ancestral programming and emotional roots of your survival patterns. Family dynamics, generational trauma, or early childhood memories may trigger deep emotional intensity. It's not just about what's happening. It's about what it touches inside of you. So you may be forced to face old control mechanisms, the armor you built to feel safe. But Pluto is here to strip you of what's no longer authentic. This isn't a battle with others. It's a homecoming to your unshakable core. Next, Mars will make a sextile to Venus in Virgo, which is your 11th house. This is your lifeline, supportive community, aligned friendships, and collaborative vision. Venus reminds you that you're not alone in your transformation. You're surrounded by people who see your power and want to build with you. This is a good time to take aligned action in your social sphere. So launch the thing, share your voice, let your impact ripple into the collective. Next, Mars will make a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, which is your 9th house. This trine is a breakthrough. Something about your worldview expands dramatically during this period. So you might travel, publish, teach, or shift your spiritual beliefs in a way that redefines your path forward. Confidence flows when you trust your truth. Let this be a moment where you finally give yourself permission to lead, speak, teach, or create without apologizing for your intensity. Next, Mars will make a trine to the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune in Pisces, which is your 5th house. So you're being called into divine leadership of your creativity, pleasure, and inner child. This is about creating with purpose, loving with sacred boundaries, and expressing yourself from a place of spiritual sovereignty. This is your timeline of alignment. When you live boldly as yourself, you unlock portals of happiness, intimacy, and soul expression that heal not just you, but your entire lineage. Now, the final aspect is an opposition to Uranus in Gemini, which is your 8th house. Now, this opposition may shake up your deepest fears around intimacy, vulnerability, and shared power. Someone may challenge your independence, or a situation may test your emotional safety. Let this be the lightning that frees you from codependent loops or trauma-bonded secrecy. You don't need to control every outcome to stay safe. You just need to trust that your power is internal, not circumstantial. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this energy is first, to reclaim your self-image. Show up as the version of you that doesn't need validation to be powerful. Next is to let your rage reveal your truth. Anger is a compass during this transit. Don't suppress it, decode it. Next is to lean into aligned communities. You don't have to heal alone. Let your transformation be witnessed. And finally, embrace divine risk. The bigger your self-trust, the more your life expands. A great affirmation for you for this Mars in Scorpio transit is, I am power, not performance. I move with truth, transform with purpose, and trust my soul to lead. Be sure to let me know how this Mars in Scorpio transit is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, if this lit you up, hit like, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you never miss the next download. And if you're ready to work your chart on a soul-deep level, my digital journals, courses, and private sessions are all waiting for you. The links are below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for listening. Sagittarius rising. So this is a deeply internal Mars transit, one that doesn't roar loudly, but simmers in the undercurrents of your psyche. Mars in your 12th house activates repressed emotions, hidden power, and unconscious behavior patterns. You may feel tired, irritable, or emotionally reactive for no reason. But there is a reason. It's just buried. This is a sacred purge, a psychic reset. You're burning away the karmic fog that's been weighing on your spirit. Let solitude become your sanctuary, not your shame. This transit isn't about being seen. It's about seeing yourself clearly in the dark. Now, during this transit, Mars will make several aspects. One of them being a square to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your third house. Mental overwhelm, anxiety, and obsessive thoughts may spike. You're being forced to confront how your inner chaos shows up in your thinking patterns, the way you speak to yourself, the way you explain your life to others, the way your nervous system spins stories that aren't actually true. Pluto wants a new mental operating system. Mars will scorch every outdated belief that keeps you in a fear loop. This isn't about staying positive. It's about being radically honest with what still controls you. Next, Mars will make a sextile to Venus in Virgo, which is your 10th house. So here comes your anchor, your purpose. Now, while everything inside feels foggy, your outer world offers surprising clarity. Venus in the 10th reminds you that you're not lost. You're being redefined. So let your work, mission, or long-term vision serve as a grounding point. This is a beautiful time to infuse spiritual depth into your career path. Lead with devotion. Let your quiet integrity speak louder than your self-doubt. Next, Mars will make a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, which is your 8th house. Healing isn't always glamorous, but this transit is rich with breakthrough potential. Your inner world becomes fertile ground for financial shifts, intimacy transformation, and ancestral healing. So you might finally understand a root wound that's been running your relationships or money patterns. Jupiter expands whatever you're willing to sit with. The more you surrender to your internal truth, the more life responds with support. Next, Mars will make a trine to the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune in Pisces, which is your 4th house. So this moment is a soul retrieval, a chance to reprogram your inner foundation, clear generational trauma, and realign with your spiritual blueprint. You're not just healing your story, you're rewriting it from the inside out. Saturn offers structure. Neptune offers grace. And the North Node offers destiny. Use this time to tend to your roots, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Now, the final aspect is going to be in opposition to Uranus in Gemini, which is your 7th house. A relationship may activate a deep trigger. So maybe it's someone who mirrors your chaos or someone who challenges it. This opposition is a flash of lightning that exposes where you still outsource your power in love or people-pleasing. Don't run, don't numb, don't escape. Let it teach you. This is the kind of disruption that sets your soul free. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Mars and Scorpio energy is first to embrace rest as a sacred ritual. Your power is regenerating in silence. Next is to write it out, burn it out. Keep a journal or a spiritual notebook to process emotions that don't make sense yet. Next is to surrender the outcome. Trust what is being cleared, even if it feels foggy. And finally, protect your energy field. Time alone is medicine. Boundaries are sacred. A great affirmation for you for this Mars and Scorpio transit is, in the quiet, I return to my truth. In the shadows, I reclaim my light. Be sure to let me know how this Mars and Scorpio energy is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, tap that like button, share the vibes, and subscribe so the stars always find you. And if you've been feeling stuck, my higher self activation is your energetic reset. Inside, you'll find a guided audio activation plus rituals and journaling prompts designed to reconnect you with the version of you who knows exactly who they are. So be sure to check it out. The links are below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for listening. Capricorn rising. So this Mars transit is electrifying your 11th house of future goals, soul circles, and collective purpose. You're being activated to claim a new level of power in how you show up in the world, not just professionally, but energetically. Who are you here to impact? What kind of leader do you want to be? This isn't just about social networks or audience growth. It's about magnetic influence through authentic alignment. You're stepping into a phase where strategic collaboration, legacy building, and visionary thinking are your most potent tools. But with Scorpio here, the way forward isn't light and fluffy. It requires transformation, strategy, and emotional depth. This is about letting your future self guide your present actions. Now, during this transit through Scorpio, Mars will make several aspects. One of them being a square to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your second house. This square hits your values and your vision. Pluto in your second house is already reshaping how you earn, what you value, and what power means to you. When Mars adds pressure here, it can trigger fears around self-worth, imposter syndrome, or scarcity, especially in group dynamics or while trying to level up. If you've been undervaluing yourself or playing it safe financially to avoid judgment or rejection, this transit could force a breakdown so that you can rebuild from truth. Let this be the moment you release outdated beliefs about what you deserve and rise into a new frequency of wealth and visibility. Next, Mars will make a sextile to Venus in Virgo, which is your ninth house. This gorgeous alignment brings faith and focus. Venus in your ninth house offers a grounded spiritual vision, one that reminds you of the why behind the empire you're building. So, this is a beautiful time for publishing a message, launching something with global reach, committing to a new belief system, or calling in teachers, mentors, or collaborators. Your message is magnetic when it's rooted in embodied wisdom. So don't just dream bigger, believe deeper. Next, Mars will make a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, which is your seventh house. This is your cosmic green light to attract soul-aligned partnerships, whether in love, business, or creative projects. You're being shown who belongs in your next chapter. Trust the new alliances forming. They're expansive, emotionally safe, and mutually empowering. If you've outgrown certain dynamics, let them fall away with love. Mars and Jupiter are working together to restore sacred reciprocity in your connections. Next, Mars will make a trine to the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune, all in Pisces in your third house. Now we get practical and spiritual. So this trine is pure cosmic strategy. You're being called to use your voice with power and precision. Saturn and the North Node in your third house are asking, what message are you meant to master and share? Don't hold back. Your words, your ideas, your content, they hold medicine. This is also a moment to build a long-term plan around communication. A podcast, newsletter, teaching platform, or speaking gig. So, if you've had doubts, this transit gives you both the dream and the structure to bring it into form. The final aspect Mars in Scorpio makes will be in opposition to Uranus in Gemini, which is your sixth house. This energy is a boom, a routine explodes, a work situation shifts. A plan you thought was locked in isn't. This opposition is here to shatter the illusion of control in your day-to-day systems, especially if they're stifling your soul. You might realize you've been working for validation instead of vision, and it's time to stop. If something collapses, good, it wasn't aligned. Your future self needs more freedom and flow, not just hustle and order. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Mars and Scorpio energy is first to map your future with bold clarity. What do you want your work and impact to look like 5 years from now? Next is to take action on the big vision. Even one bold step now could unlock major momentum. Next is to surround yourself with allies. You're not meant to do this alone. And finally, let go of proving and step into serving. Your value isn't up for negotiation. Lead from embodiment. A great affirmation for you for this Mars and Scorpio transit is, my future is already mine. I claim it with clarity, courage, and sacred power. Be sure to let me know how this Mars and Scorpio energy is showing up for you in the comments below. And if you're tired of repeating old patterns, my Venus Activation Journal walks you through reconnecting with your self-worth and rewriting your love story from the inside out. So be sure to grab it. The links are below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for listening. Aquarius rising. So this Mars transit lights up your 10th house of career, visibility, and long-term legacy. And it's not playing. You're being asked to go all in on your next level of public purpose. Whether you're gunning for a promotion, launching something major, or stepping into a new role, this is warrior level ambition with a spiritual undertone. You're not just chasing success. You are realigning your impact. But here's the catch. Scorpio doesn't do surface. You may be asked to sacrifice comfort, face fears of rejection, or walk away from something secure to pursue what's truly aligned. This is your moment to rise, not through performance, but through embodiment. Now, during this transit, Mars will make several aspects, one of them being a square to Pluto in Aquarius, which of course is your first house. This aspect hits hard and deep. Now, with Pluto in your first house, you've already been undergoing a radical identity rebirth. But now Mars challenges that process. So you may feel pulled between how others see you or expect you to show up publicly and who you're actually becoming. This square can trigger ego clashes, public power struggles, or internal crises around worth and visibility. Let it. These moments are here to show you where you're still leading from fear instead of soul. Don't shrink, transform. Next, Mars will make a sextile to Venus in Virgo, which is your 8th house. So this aspect brings grounding and grace to the intensity. With Venus in your 8th house, you're supported in calling back your energy, especially from dynamics where you've overgiven or overperformed. This is your invitation to set powerful boundaries at work, clarify your energetic investments, and attract aligned partnerships or mentors. There's something deeply regenerative about this transit, like you're recharging your inner battery while doubling your magnetism in the outer world. Next, Mars will make a trine to Jupiter in Cancer in your 6th house. This is your reward transit. Mars and Jupiter open the door to expansion in your work, wellness, or daily rituals, but only if they support your larger mission. So you may receive a new opportunity, a project that excites you, or even experience massive flow in productivity. If you've been grinding without direction, this helps you recalibrate. Your daily effort becomes more meaningful because it's now plugged into a purpose. Next, Mars will make a trine to the North Node Saturn, and Neptune, all in Pisces, in your second house. This rare trine is a recommitment to your soul's definition of success. It's less about how things look and more about what they feel like. Now, in your second house, this energy asks, what are you building that's truly worthy of you? There's power here to restructure your income, values, and self-trust. Saturn grounds the vision. Neptune infuses it with magic. And the North Node calls you forward. Build from this new foundation. It's sustainable and spiritually aligned. Now, the final transit is going to be an opposition to Uranus in Gemini, which is your fifth house. This is the wild card. Uranus in your fifth house can bring sudden plot twists related to creativity, romance, children, or visibility. So you might feel torn between playing by the rules of your career and following a passionate pull that feels disruptive but liberating. Let this opposition show you where you've been afraid to be seen in your full genius. Let your weirdness, your art, your happiness interrupt your status quo. This is your permission slip to lead from originality, not obligation. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Mars and Scorpio energy is first to lead from power, not pressure. If it's not aligned with your true identity, let it fall away. Next is to rethink what success feels like. Don't just chase a title. Embody your truth. Next is to use your voice strategically. People are watching. Say what matters. And finally, welcome divine disruption. It's not chaos. It's cosmic redirection. A great affirmation for you for this Mars and Scorpio transit is, my legacy is built on truth. I rise by being more of who I am. Be sure to let me know how this Mars and Scorpio energy is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, give this video a thumbs up, pass it to your astrology besties, and subscribe for more cosmic truths. And if you're ready for clarity, my As Above, So Within astrology journal gives you over 100 prompts to uncover your purpose and patterns. So start your deep dive today. The link is below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for listening. Pisces rising. So Mars in your ninth house is launching a search party for your next spiritual, mental, and life path expansion. This is an internal fire that says there has to be more than this. So whether it comes through travel, study, teaching, publishing, spiritual awakening, or just a powerful soul epiphany, you are ready to break out of a limiting worldview and reclaim your vision for the future. This transit brings a rising urgency to live in alignment with your personal truth. Mars in Scorpio wants it to be all or nothing. Now, if your current beliefs, lifestyle, or even geographic location feels too small, this could be the moment that sets your soul on a new course. Now, during this transit, Mars will make several aspects, one of them being a square to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 12th house. Now, this opening square can feel like a war between your unconscious programming and your conscious beliefs. Pluto in the 12th is already digging up ancestral baggage, psychic imprints, and outdated identities. Now, Mars arrives to burn through the illusions. So don't be surprised if you feel triggered or overwhelmed by sudden fears, vivid dreams, or a confrontation with hidden grief. But this is not a punishment. It's a liberation. You're breaking through the mental cages you didn't even know you were in. Next, Mars will be making a sextile to Venus in Virgo, which is your 7th house. So, relationships play a key role in your awakening now. With Venus in your 7th house, you may meet someone who reflects the version of you you're becoming, or realize where your current bonds are no longer aligned with your future path. This transit can also support collaborative healing, writing projects, or sacred contracts that expand your message, brand, or work into a brand new territory. It's a soft but strategic alignment to anchor you into your next chapter. Now, Mars will also be making a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, which is your 5th house. This is a cosmic green light. Jupiter, your traditional ruler, is lighting up your 5th house of happiness, creativity, and self-expression. Combined with Mars in your 9th, this trine brings inspired action, the kind that feels like divine timing. A creative idea could spark a new income stream. A love connection could lead to spiritual growth. A moment of play could shift your whole belief system. Follow the joy. It will point you toward your next expansion. Next, Mars will make a trine to the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune, all in Pisces, in your 1st house. This is your spiritual rewrite. As Mars harmonizes with these heavyweights in your sign, you are reclaiming parts of your soul that were long exiled, such as the mystic, the artist, the visionary, or the teacher. This is less about doing and more about embodying. Who do you become when you trust your vision? What identity feels most aligned with your higher path? Mars helps you activate this energy in real, courageous ways through risk, action, and belief. Now, the final aspect is going to be in opposition to Uranus in Gemini, which is your 4th house. Your internal transformation may rock the foundation of your home, family, or emotional security. Uranus in your 4th wants to liberate you from inherited fears and ancestral guilt. This opposition can bring sudden realizations or changes in where or how you live, or even who you live with. Don't resist the shift. Even if it feels disruptive, it's part of realigning your inner world with the freedom you're cultivating in your outer one. So let go of outdated definitions of home because you're building one that matches your soul. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Mars and Scorpio energy is first to be willing to question everything. Your old beliefs won't carry you where you're going. Next is to let your joy lead. Creativity and love will be your spiritual compasses. Next is to trust your future self. You're not crazy. You're evolving. And finally, open your mind and your roots will follow. As you grow spiritually, your home base must shift with you. A great affirmation for you for this Mars and Scorpio transit is, I trust the vision unfolding. My life expands as I align with my soul. Be sure to let me know how this Mars and Scorpio energy is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, hit that like button, send this to someone who needs it, and subscribe for more star-powered clarity. And you don't have to keep guessing who you are. My As Above, So Within guided journal helps you get real about what you want and what you're here for. So be sure to grab it below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for listening.